Hello and welcome to Planet Bitesize, the podcast brought to you by Planet and Hostfully. My name's James Varley, the founder of Planet, and our goal is to share everything you need to know about buying and managing short-term rentals. Today's guest is Joseph Cox from Hostfully, and he's got 5 tips to share about one of the key aspects of short-term rentals, photography. If you want to get more bookings, you need to implement these tips. Are you looking to streamline your operations and amaze your guests? Look no further than Hostfully. With their top-rated property management software, you can automate reservations, payments, and guest communication all in one place. Plus, their award-winning digital guidebooks provide personalized recommendations and essential information, ensuring your guests have an unforgettable stay while helping you achieve those all-important outstanding reviews. Join the thousands of satisfied property managers who trust Hostfully to grow their business. Visit hostfully.com to elevate your short-term rental game today. Joseph, welcome back to Planet Bitesize. Pleasure to chat as ever. You're going to share 5 tips about photography for short-term rental hosts and property managers. So take it away with tip number 1.
Sounds good. Yeah, great to be back, James. And plenty of tips. And there's so many ways to get your listings ranked higher and these things. So one would definitely be creative. Think outside the box. Don't follow the usual routine of what everyone else does. Just by showcasing a room, it could be a certain angle, it could be a certain type of lighting, it could be, there's all sorts of ways. So just be a bit creative, stand out from that massive list of rentals because there's more and more competition these days in the UK and worldwide. And just think outside the box there of how to showcase your images.
And is it important with that in mind to kind of theme things a little bit or to add props maybe? It might be, I don't know, bottle of champagne on ice, or it might be some flowers or something like that.
Yeah, it's something that stands out, something very memorable that'll remind the potential guest or guest where they're staying. So yeah, it could be something really unique. It could be some ornament or something that just reminds them of that property. But yeah, chocolates, flowers, adding a personal touch as well. And then, maybe just, even a certain type of color theme or something like that. Just having a slight tint to every single image. It'll just stand it out in front of a whole list of, could be standard, very, very standard images. So definitely.
And I guess as well, if your area is famous for something, it might be famous for a certain type of cheese or whatever it might be. That might be an opportunity as well to use that in your photographs.
Definitely. Yeah. And whether you're up in Scotland, have a bottle of whiskey nearby, maybe on the Isle of Skye, or whether you're in Cheddar Gorge or something, put in a big slab of cheddar in there or something. So definitely just making it quite niche, being creative, make it stand out, and just showcasing those little personal touches about the property and its location is key.
All right, then. So tip number 1 is be creative. So tip number 2, Joseph.
Yeah, I would say just dabbling onto the last one, really, just having them as professional as can be, really. And it does kind of touch on the previous topic of being creative because, making them professional, making them stand out is key to one, make it stand out, get more bookings. 2, for the, the channel, the algorithm, it does analyze the images and sort of ranks your listing higher if it's got a better sort of quality image or a better looking image if it's more attractive. And it leads on to all sorts, better reviews, more professionalism, higher expectations, better trust, and all these things. So just having professional, good quality images of the rooms, the property, the location, and everything in there. So definitely that.
Yeah, professional photographs are so important. And I think getting high resolution is important as well, because as you say there with the OTAs like Airbnb and Booking.com, they are judging you on your photos. They are basically looking at your photos, seeing if they're good quality, and then they'll decide, right, how high you should go up the algorithm and when people are searching for your properties.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, with this ever increasing competitive market, it definitely gets some, really good, high quality above 1080 quality images is massive, and having different angles, different views, different layouts, and even try out a drone, maybe just even get an aerial shot of the property and have that in. And people love you can get the image of the property and the backdrop as well. It could be so. Just having some good professional images is definitely key. And scrolling through that list on, say, Airbnb or direct booking or channel, it'll certainly stand out that way.
And how important is it to hire a professional photographer rather than just taking some shots on your phone?
Yeah, easy. You can do it on your phone. It's great. You can if you get the right settings and everything set up. They have great quality cameras these days. But hiring someone these days is very easy. Just look up someone that maybe prioritizes property itself, and hiring someone there, like eMarketing in Yorkshire. They're great. And there's loads of companies dotted around. So that, finding someone is super easy, and they'll come around. It should only take half a day, maybe max, and they'll get some really good shots. And it's a really good investment. It's one of the key things that people look at. And on top of that, and description and reviews, one of the key three things there really, when people look at a property and decide if they're going to book. So yeah,
definitely. Getting a professional photographer, I think, is really important, and it might be the best few £100 that you've ever spent. All right, so we've had be creative, be professional. What's tip number 3?
Yeah, priority of images. Really, I noticed listings out there, they don't really prioritize. They just chuck the images in there, and it could be on the channel, it could be the direct booking website, could just be on the website, and just having a priority list of images is really key. I wouldn't really showcase a bathroom straight away. Also, a toilet or something like that. It's not going to sell it. So definitely showcase a listing from its most, maybe used room, or the one that stands out the most, the one that's got all the personal touches, as we were talking about before. Just priority of images, and making sure that they, the first one is the key selling point. People scroll so fast these days. They spend, I don't know, like a few seconds deciding on something these days. So you really got to catch their eye straight away. So it's just prioritize your best photo as the number one. That would be a go-to recommendation.
Yeah, it's so important to get that first photo right, because again, on the OTAs, Airbnb, they're judging you based on that first photo, and they'll decide like where your property should be in terms of the algorithm, in terms of where people search. It is so important to get it right. And it's a little bit like a newspaper or a magazine article. If you've got, I don't know, if the story's about a plane that's crashed, you're not going to use a photo of the field after it's been cleared up. You're going to use the actual photo of the plane in flames or something like that. So probably a terrible analogy, but anyway, if you, it is, the point is the same. Use your best photo that's really going to grab people's attention, and hopefully get them through to the listing, and then encourage them to book, of course. Okay, so priority of images is really important. So tip number 4, Joseph.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, me and my wife, we used to do videography and photography for hotels and B&Bs and guest houses and rentals. And one of the key things that I found was the most effective was just good lighting. And, this could take a while to actually get that right moment and get that right shot and things. But just having good lighting, you can't quite beat it, even if you were to, which will be my next topic, is editing, having good lighting just makes all the difference with whether it's a good image or a bad image. And just waiting for that right moment. I know the UK, a lot of rainy days, so it could take a few days to get that image, but definitely worthwhile to get good lighting. And you might need some extra tools to have that, whether it's how to get the angle of lighting. You can get these. I don't know exactly what they use. I never use them, but you can get some good tools to kind of improve on the lighting for an image. So definitely that.
Yeah, lighting is incredibly important. And thinking as well of the timing, especially in the UK, if your place is suitable for summer trips, try and maybe take the photos when it's sunny, when maybe you've got those hazy sunsets or whatever it might be. Don't get the photographer down, maybe first thing in the morning where it might be a little bit too dark or something like that, or take your photos in November when it's like not going to look very nice. So I think, yeah, timing as well is really important. And if it's a horrible, wet, rainy day, maybe tell the photographer to come back another day.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely worthwhile. Yeah, it will just make the image stand out so much better. If it was like a sunset evening and you're getting the garden shot, and yeah, it'll make all the difference with bookings. So.
And what about maybe updating your photos depending on the season as well? If you're aiming for guests in the summer, showing those sunny, bright photos, and then maybe in the winter, you might show a few photos with maybe a Christmas theme or a snow theme or something like that. How important is that in terms of getting bookings, do you think?
Yeah, great. Yeah. No, it's a sort of emotional side of things, isn't it? Photos, you look at it and you get that Christmas comes around, you want that cozy feel. So you want that cozy cottage with the fireplace and the Christmas tree and the presents and everything. So definitely, update those. And it's supposedly good for the algorithm as well to just update your description and images on the listing, so it gets ranked higher. So yeah, it's kind of a win-win situation there. So if you did have an adjustment every 4 times a year with the seasons, that'd be good.
Okay, so we've had 4 tips then. What's number 5?
Yeah, it was leading on to the lighting, I guess. But yeah, a good editing of an image is really good as well, and it's not hard to do. You can do it yourself. Go into Adobe, Lightroom, CapCut if it's videos or something. There's all sorts of different software out there which can be free, can be paid. You can get some really good image editing software now, and with a click of a button, it'll actually just analyze it and do it for you. Get the right editing software and edit the image to be the best, basically. So yeah, just editing images is really important. Getting maybe adjusting it to be that theme color for the property or the branding, those sorts of things. So yeah, really easy to do these days. You can do it on your phone, you can do it on a laptop, and yeah, just changing the you can change the lighting in a way, as I was saying before. You can't beat natural lighting. So but if you can edit it in a way to improve it as well, that'd be pretty good.
High quality and bright photos when you're doing the editing, that will help. In terms of how often you should update your photos for your listing, what do you think the optimum kind of length of time your photos should be there on your site?
Yeah, you want them to be you want the property to be sort of remembered. So if you have if you're getting repeat guests, you don't want the images to be updated too much. But then again, with the seasonality, it's really nice to adjust to suit the season. So it's a tricky one to say, James. But give it probably with the seasons 4 times a year, that would probably do. But it's nice to create the memory of this repeat guest. They're going to go back on and find that property saved. They'll look at the images and they'll be like, yeah, that's exactly what we booked. That's where we stayed. That's what we remember. And those sorts of things. So it's a tricky balance, but maybe just 4 times a year just to adjust for each season, and that'll probably do. But yeah, you don't want to sort of a good way. It's good to update just to improve the algorithm, but you want to you want to be remembered as what it was with that first image on the page, and people remember it and be like, yeah, I remember that as being a good one, so we'll book that. So.
And how often do you think you should update or take new photos generally? I mean, maybe a year, maybe a couple of years. What do you reckon?
Yeah, unless there's been some mega renovation or some major improvements, give it a couple of years would be fine. A year and a half, 2 years would be grand. Yeah, so hiring someone for professional imagery, it can range from £100 up to a few hundred and things. So it's not a lot for a really good investment. And yeah, don't need to do it very often. And yeah, if there's any major works or improvements, definitely get that done just to set expectations for the guest. And yeah, probably a year and a half to a couple of years.
And when you do change them, as I experienced, I think just over a year ago now, I put up some new photos on the OTAs and on our direct booking website, and it definitely clicked in with the algorithm because we got 5 bookings in one day straight away as soon as we changed the photos. So nice. The OTAs, they do notice and they'll start putting you in front of more people. So changing your photos can be one of the most effective things to do. If you're not quite getting the number of bookings that you desire, then maybe first thing you should look at is your photography, I think. So just to run through those 5 tips then. So number 1, creative. Number 2, be professional. Definitely consider hiring a professional photographer. 3, think about the priority of the images. 4, ever important, lighting. And 5, editing as well. Joseph, just before you go, tell us more about Hostfully and where people can find out more info.
For sure, yeah. Drop into hostfully.com, and on there you can explore the property management software which we have and the guidebooks. They're 2 separate subscriptions. They're both designed to increase bookings, automate workflow, and then just give you an all-in-one space to do everything. Yeah, to just go in and it helps your life day to day, property managers' life day to day, and hopefully gives them a few more holidays a year. So day-to-day lives, it's not easy sometimes. So we're there to help.
There you go. Hostfully, guaranteeing more holidays. That should be the next tagline. Joseph, it's been a real pleasure as ever. Thank you so much for joining us on Host Planet Bitesize.
Oh, it's been great. Thanks for having me, James. And have a nice day.
Great to chat to Joseph Cox there about photography. Remember, lighting is everything, and make sure you use a professional photographer. All right, that's it for today's episode. Remember, this series is sponsored by Hostfully, and if you'd like to try their PMS or digital guidebook, head to hostfully.com. For more free education, tips, and trends from the STR industry, visit houseplanet.club, where you can sign up for our newsletter, listen to our podcasts, and download a suite of ebooks for hosts and property managers. That's it for today's episode. Until next time, happy hosting.